All right, June 8th, workout breakdown, 12 sets and go is the monthly emphasis. Hopefully, at this point, of watching this video, we are aware of that. Um, Although I don't want to talk about interval day, I do think it's worth noting that if it's something you've wanted to work on, your aerobic base or your aerobic foundation increasing or just simply getting better at, summer's kind of nice. Like, you're going to get it over June, July, and August. A minimum of 6 times, potentially upwards of 7 and 8, depending on how July and August fall week wise. I haven't exactly looked at it. But knowing that summer gives you a nice little bubble where you can kind of maybe hone in on it, and it gives you a kind of a light at the end of the tunnel if you really just want to do it for those 3 months. So it might be worth it for some of you guys to kind of hop on the train here if you're not already doing it. I know a lot of people are already in the middle of intervals, but just throwing that out there. Chest day, you wanted to go over this just for a couple little minor details here. The 2 minute EMOM is a fantastic way in terms of efficiency to get through what we want to get through with the appropriate amount of time of recovery in 90% of cases. I think it's been stated and we've done it enough that people, you guys have an understanding and a knowledge of how to flow this appropriately. We're going to do the first 5 rounds of the 2 minute EMOM, just a flat bench chest press. I want to make it very clear in this video. One of the reasons I'm going over this that you should be able to use your normal weights. So whatever you're going to do, if it was 4 or 5 sets on the regular, go for that, which is why I have the tracking signal up here for a lot of these. Because again, you should still get your 90 seconds time of recovery or pretty damn close to it. Immediately following that, the only little thing in here, if we're really digging deep and peeling some layers back, is that once you finish your 5th round of the flat bench, you go directly into a 6th round of the incline or the decline, whichever one you choose. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer there, by the way. Normally, between movements, when we're doing, our 4 or 5 sets, or our traditional setup, you guys have a lot more flexibility to take like 2, 3, 4 minutes off while you're transitioning into the next movement, where you don't get that here. That being said, still should be able to use your normal weight. Also makes me think that maybe you should be tilted a little bit more towards decline press here, as it tends to allow more weight moved and it gives you a little bit more wiggle room in the way. So if you're not super proficient in incline, and you do want to focus on strength, you're probably going to get better results from transitioning into the decline, knowing that you don't have as much flexibility. So I think that's worth noting. The third round, or the third set of 5 rounds, so rounds 11 through 15, the push-ups, huge range here. I think a lot of people on the surface level will just see a monster range. This is a little bit different. So kind of a different approach in the first 10 rounds. I would, tell you to flip your mindset and more of the mindset of using the entirety of the 2 minutes to get to your rep count rather than only using 45 or 60 seconds. I think you are fine to kind of find ways to segment this, whether it's like 5 every 10 seconds or 5 push-ups every 20 seconds or whatever it is, right? Everybody's a little bit different. But flipping the mindset of like, it doesn't need to be one set and then rest for the rest of 2 minutes. I would work on just sheer volume here and use that 10 minutes to accumulate as much volume as I could. I think that's probably most beneficial in this particular setting, given you've already done 10 sets of pretty heavy loaded stuff. I would assume you guys are going pretty heavy on this unless you're fairly new. And then round 16 through 20, this wasn't on purpose, but it fits perfectly. So the tracking is there. And it's your 2 minute EMOM on the bike for the month of June. I think we had just done this. I have it over here somewhere. We had just done this on the 26th of May. So less than 2 weeks ago, if you were in class, you had the opportunity to do this. So nice little turnaround here. If you guys were here on the 26th, if I make sure I'm reading that right. If you guys were here on the 26th, you did the 2 minute EMOM on the bike, which I can't state enough. Anytime you get the 5 rounds, 2 minute EMOM of any of the aero pieces of equipment, it is worth you putting some pretty serious effort and energy into. It gives you a pretty good black and white answer as to where you currently stand on that piece, that particular equipment. So again, bike here on the 8th. It won't come back for a little bit here as we're in the beginning of June. And then the last 5 minutes at the bottom, a really tough transition here, but I kind of wanted to, I wanted it to be tough, which is I had this ball clean to shoulder listed before I even realized that the 2 minute EMOM actually fits the biking 2 minute EMOM. My main thought process was I wanted you guys to pretty much go from 0 on the lifting stuff into like 100 on the bike and kind of flip the gauge here. And then the transition off of the bike into this clean to shoulder, this loaded movement, this full body movement, where you have to actually find some level of stability under duress, which is what's going to happen coming off the bike. And the fact that it's every minute in the minute. I want you to use your normal weight, and 6 to 8 clean to shoulders every minute on the minute does put you in that 30 rep count range, which is that Olympic lift kind of golden range that we really want to succeed on. And I thought really hard about putting this rep count a little bit lower so people could go even heavier on this. But I wanted to make sure you hit that 28 to 30 rep count range to get the most out of the most proficient zone in terms of rep count volume on Olympic lifts. This isn't a pickup to shoulder; it's a clean shoulder. So I think that the higher volume is warranted, knowing that it's not a pickup to shoulder, and that's just a small detail that I'd like you guys to start picking up on if you haven't already picked up on it while looking at this. But either way, it's a very proficient day. 45 minutes, you're gonna get a lot done in this 45 minutes, and it's probably gonna feel like you're moving nonstop.